Here's a look at Ruben Galvan in his last 10 fights, 5 wins, 4 losses, 1 no decision, 1 knockout. I think it's fair to say, Roy Jones, that Top Rank, the promoter which is bringing along Julio Cesar Chavez, has brought him along carefully and professionally up to this point.
Yeah, and it's smart for them to do that, mainly because he didn't have a long amateur career. He only had 3 amateur fights, so they have to extend his amateur career at the beginning of his professional career. So it's smart of them to bring him along this way. He's not in the ring of life. He's not a great student of the game yet. He's learning how to fight as a professional.
Ruben Galvan favors tattoos and piercings, as you'll see. He will not be wearing in the fight the 2 giant-sized hoop earrings that he wore to the fighter meeting yesterday. And for this fight, he has taken out the tongue-piercing implement, which is normally in his tongue, although he told us that he has fought with it in sometimes in the past. And he lost to Dimitri Salita, who is another rising prospect. You saw the other 2 losses on his noteworthy fight records right there. Typically, Galvan said he didn't see much in young Chavez Jr., but he'll get a better look once Julio gets into the fight. Recently, Chavez Jr. had the honor and privilege of fighting on the same card as his father in Los Angeles. That night, Julio spent 30 minutes in the ring, earning a unanimous decision against Ivan Robinson. Chavez Jr. spent 48 seconds in the ring, 29 minutes and 12 seconds fewer before knocking out a hopelessly outclassed opponent.
If he looks like he doesn't shave, it's because he doesn't shave.
And incidentally, even though the body type is very different, as you might suspect, the quality punch that J.C. Chavez Jr. throws is a left hook to the body. His father, still fighting, is rumored to be headed toward a date with Roger Mayweather, whom you'll see later tonight training his nephew. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, by way of Caesars Atlantic City and Bally's Atlantic City, Main Events and Top Rank Incorporated present this special attraction contest. The 3 judges at ringside for this bout will be Pierre Benoist, Quezon Cheeks, and Paul Venti. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Benji Esteves. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing. This is in the junior welterweight division. Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red, official weight 142 pounds. Professional record 21 victories, including 9 knockouts, 6 defeats with 2 bouts even. Fighting out of Hammond, Indiana, here is Ruben Superman Galvan. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white with green and red trim. Official weight 142 pounds. A perfect professional record consisting of 19 bouts, 19 victories with 14 knockouts. From Culiacan, Mexico, the undefeated Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Julio, vuelvo a repetir, I'm going to repeat my instructions. Protégete durante el combate todo el tiempo. Protect yourself at all times. Dame una pelea limpia. Give me a clean match. Buena suerte a los dos. Touch up. Good luck to both.
No son of a great fighter has ever become a great fighter. It'll be a while before we find out whether Junior can even be a good fighter.
But recently, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. did for his father probably about as great a thing as any son can ever do for his dad. Together with his brother, he went to his father and asked him very simply if he would stop drinking alcohol at his fights because he said to his father, "You get drunk and it embarrasses me." Reportedly, since that day, several months ago, Julio Sr. has not had a drink. I saw him earlier this evening, sober as a judge.
And that's a real father. Has to be complimented for that.
It's a great story about both father and son.
Yep.
And now Julio begins to go to work with a multiple attack. Since he began his professional career, he has grown considerably, and to be fighting during ongoing growth spurts has to have an effect on your in-the-ring style.
Yeah, it does, but it also allows you to gain 17 pounds overnight.
Yeah.
And gives you an advantage on your opponent.
And come into the ring as the much bigger man. Galvin told us yesterday, "I'm not worried about Julio's speed because I've sparred a lot with Marty Yakubowski." Marty Yakubowski actually fought Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. in a title fight and was stopped back in Julio's prime. But Marty Yakubowski was a Midwestern fighter of some note and supposedly considerable speed. Right now, Galvin may be finding out that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is a little faster than Marty at this moment.
Well, Gavin ain't giving up nothing. Now, Cesar has having to work for everything that he gets. Gavin is out here trying. He's not just out here giving this to Julio.
He may represent a slight uptick in opponents, and he just landed a very nice right.
Well, he's already lasted more than a minute longer than Chavez Jr.'s last opponent.
Well, he hasn't been stopped. We can say that much for him.
I tell you what, he hit Chavez Jr. with a good right hand just then, though. Chavez Jr. doing a smart thing now, beating that body to take some of that power away from him.
Pretty good record for Galvin, 21-6-2, 9 KOs. So within his environment, the upper Midwest, fighting out of the Chicago suburb of Hammond, Indiana, he can fight. And he's showing enough self-belief to make this an interesting test for young Chavez.
Probably his biggest test to date.